Okay, so hi, my name is Harmony. My pronouns today are he and they, and I'm honored to be your gay dance teacher. Today we're going to be doing a Qigong exercise for balance and centering. Because there's so many things throughout the day that can pull us off our center, and if I'm going to be an interpretive dancer and say that this is falling off our center, right? We want our cup to stay nice and stable and full, be balanced and relaxed and attentive to the world around us. And if that spills, I mean, that's not great news for us, and it's not great news for my tea. So let's talk about centering. But before we do that, I will center my own needs and ask for some support. Would you please take a moment to subscribe? Where is it? Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you do get alerts when I do have new videos, because that helps me grow this practice, helps me reach more folks, and it helps me also, sustain the practice that I have. So, centering. We're going to start by centering our needs. Have you done that? Is it good? Are we cool? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And let's get into today's Qigong practice. So, quick background on Qigong. If you've ever seen like old Chinese people at the park, just really moving slowly and like breathing peacefully, just like moving like there's clouds in front of them, but you don't really know what's going on. That's Qigong or Tai Chi. This is an ancient practice. This has been developed in China for over thousands of years, and it's to promote, honestly, longevity. It helps regulate the nervous system. It helps us heal from illnesses and chronic afflictions. And today we're going to be using some of these Qigong practices for balance and centering. Now, for this practice, I'm going to give some alternatives because there's an option to stand on one foot. And I know for some folks that might not be accessible. So I'm going to give some alternatives from seated and lying down. So I'm going to show those before we get into it so that you can pick whatever works for you. So centering your needs starts now. We're going to be doing something called a crane stance. Now standing, that crane stance is going to look like this. You're going to be on one foot. You can have a prop. You can use a support, you can use a walker, you can use a cane, you can use whatever you want. You can also use a chair. You don't have to do this standing on one foot. If you want to do it from seated, we're going to do the same principle. We're going to pull up one leg. Hello, Mitch. Mitch will be joining us for this practice. Just pull up one leg and engage the core, press into your seat, and we can do the same practice from here. Finally, if seated and standing is not your thing, you can go from the ground. So on the ground, that will look like this. Find a comfortable lying down. Hello, Mitch. Hopefully you can see. And we're just going to pull up one leg. Again, it can go as high or low as you'd like. If you want to bring your leg up higher, you can. Relax into your support. We'll do this practice again from lying down. So take a moment, set yourself up, pick what works best, standing, seated, or lying down. And while you're considering that, I will get it set up for myself. I will be doing today's practice from standing. So I'll show you what the standing variation looks like. Now, before we begin that balance, the invitation here is to take 6 slow, complete bubble magic breaths. And if you don't know what bubble magic is, I'll show you. Pretend that you have an imaginary bubble wand, and ta-da, it is here. This is what it looks like. You have one too. Mine looks like this. We're going to take our bubble wand, dip it in the imaginary bubble liquid, and deep breath. We're going to be blowing 6 bubbles. Deep breath in. Slow, complete exhale. Movement is invited, movement is allowed. You can take this bubble as big as you want. It can be as discreet as you want, but keep going at your own pace. If you don't want the bubble wand, you don't have to use it. This deep exhale, this complete exaggerated exhale, is actually helping us lower our heart rate. by lowering our heart rate, gives us a little bit more access to be relaxed and alert, getting a little bit of relief from some of that stress and panic that may be in our bodies. So, once you've taken those 6 bubble magic breaths, let's get into the practice. So the starting point is to first find your feet, or find your seat, or find the ground. Connect with your support, whatever it may be, and just take a moment to appreciate and perhaps press into it. My feet are about shoulder width apart, but honestly, whatever feels most stable for you is probably the right move. So trust your body, trust your alignment. And we're going to shift over. I'm shifting over to my right foot here, gathering my arms up and pulling my feet with it. And now we're going into a crane stance. This crane stance in martial arts is used usually to prepare for a kick. So you don't have to do this with me, but I'm just showing mid. Centering. That when we were to use this in a kick situation, we would be extending our foot out, right? Pumpkin. Hi. And that kick can be used for stability. It can also be used for defense. But for this purpose, we're just going into a standing crane. Use your supports as needed. From here, we're taking our arms above head, and we're actually going to flip that foot, transitioning it onto the thigh, onto the calf, onto the ankle, whatever feels best for you. Again, pressing into the ground, pulling your upper body away, finding some stretch. And if you're on the ground or seated, again, we're modifying this to whatever feels best for you. Know that pain is not necessary for this practice. A lot of folks say no pain, no gain. Just no pain, no pain. All right, so if you're feeling pain, switch it up. I want this to feel relaxing, engaging, and pleasant. And you are the expert on how to find that for yourself. From here, cultivating that deep, cleansing breath, we switch into another crane stance. Again, foot pulls up next to us. I'm engaging my midline here, kind of hugging my hips, bringing everything close to that center. I don't want to be wide here. It's harder to balance. Pulling into the center. Foot can be lower to the ankle or higher to the knee. It's up to you. Find the crane that feels best for you and just follow your balance. Follow your balance. And if you tip over, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. And in this practice in particular, we're just trying to find some balance. So once you find that balance, you can even rest your foot down if you want. That's fine too. We're going to do something called crane ruffles its feathers. So if you can imagine a crane, big bird, long neck, likes to stand on one foot, just ruffling its feathers in front of them. We're doing the same. Let your breath be easy, gentle, smooth. And let these extensions actually originate from your back. If you're lying down and doing this, again, just tilt to the side so you can see my posture. You can have your arms out in front of you. If you're in a chair, same thing applies. If you're standing, just take as many as feels good. And I'm feeling quite satisfied with mine right now, so I'm going to allow my arms to float and extend out, and then gently rest my foot back down. In Qigong, slowness is the medicine. We are trying to acclimate our bodies to slow, gentle movement. This is really helpful when we age, right? When we get older, and our nerves perhaps are a little bit shakier than they used to be, right? So we can build in some resilience, we can build in some longevity by practicing that slowness, that stability, that transfer of weight, that balance, so that later in life we're setting ourselves up for success. So we're going to do the other side now, gathering our chi and pulling up. If you notice, my hands are kind of out in front of me. My palms are facing my shoulders. And I'm just finding some gentle balance here and feeling a lot of, I'm going to say weight in my foot, right? I'm not pulling away from myself. I'm just rooting into the ground like I'm a tree. Deep breaths here, centering, and this is the practice, right? So there's distractions happening around me, but I'm trying to center, right? I'm trying to hold my practice as the focus of my actions right now. And that means attending to myself, attending to my breath. Your foot can adjust however height feels best for you. And on the next exhale, let's pull up into that extended kind of tree pose. Remember, your foot can be as high or as low as you'd like. The wonderful thing about this balancing posture is that when we're balancing, there's not really much space for a lot of racing thoughts or thinking. You'll notice if you fall off balance, if your thoughts are pulling you that way. So if you do struggle with your attention or sometimes with racing thoughts, this is a great way to pull some of those back down to earth, to root, to find resilience, to find stability. And just take a little gentle balance practice. See how that feels for you. On that next inhale and exhale, I'm going to float back down. Crane ruffles its feathers. Again, foot can be at whatever height you choose. Arms are extended, and that ruffling begins. It's slow, it's gentle. I like to offer a little imagination here and pretend that the air is actually made of cotton candy. And that cotton candy, we can just kind of push through and smoosh through, and there's a tiny bit of resistance, but nothing harsh, right? We're still moving smooth and slow. Deep breath here. You can be creative. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to do these. Follow your chi. Your chi is the most important thing in any of these practices. So if your crane has big wings and it likes to ruffle out like this, that's cool. If it's a little faster than I'm doing, that's fine as well. You don't have to copy me. But we're just taking some movement here while we're stable, while we're rooted. And when you're feeling satisfied, we bring the arms back out in front of us, and gently, slowly, with control, with purpose, we place the foot back down and press it into the earth. And I'm actually bringing my hands up to the middle, up to heart center. And the next exercise I want to show is called ball exercise. Now, if you've seen people practicing Tai Chi, you might have seen people kind of making this motion, like there's an invisible ball in front of them. I'm going to teach you how to do that today, because this is another way that we can take care of our energy, center our self-care, and provide a little bit more balance and focus to our lives. So, options for seated, standing, or lying down. You could do any of these. I'm going to do mine from seated. Let's mix it up. So from seated, pressing into your support, finding the ground, maybe settling down and back if you're standing, just finding that center of balance in the middle of your foot so that there's no pain here. We're just trying to go into some comfort. And for ball exercise, we're going to start by drawing our hands up to the center, like a prayer position. On that exhale, I'm going to tilt my fingertips, pressing with my fingertips into the other until I get a nice straight line here. And that press is very gentle, super subtle, very easy. We're not going for any pain, right? Movement is welcome. So whatever feels good, I invite you to attend. Whatever feels best for you. We did both sides. We find center. I'm going to drop the palms down to the earth so the fingertips are pointing 45 degrees in front of us. We bring them back up and we repeat. Inhale in. Exhale completely. We tilt. You're doing great. Inhale to the center. Tilt to the side. And just notice the sensations in your body. Inhale to center. And this time, we're going to bring our palms just at a comfortable distance, and we're going to actually rub them together. Now, we're generating some heat. So imagine you're like rubbing your hands together like you're going to start a fire, like old campfire style, and find that heat. Notice when your heat starts to arise between your palms, right? I'm actually feeling a lot of heat. And when it feels just right, when you're like, ooh, it's hot, we're going to shake it off, right? And imagine that you have water on your hands and you're drying them after washing your hands, but without a paper towel, just shaking off the water. I really like to let my arms be very loose here. super loose, super relaxed. This is also a helpful somatic practice to do if you just need to shake off some energy, because shaking and moving helps us complete a stress response cycle. So you might actually be helping yourself move through some stress and like leave it behind you just by shaking, imagining all your worries, all the toxic energy, all whatever you want to get rid of, just shaking it off. Our subconscious loves when we're literal, so this is a great practice for incorporating that embodiment. Okay, so I'm feeling nice and loose. We draw our palms to the center, and you might feel a little bit of buzzing, like a light electricity or a light wave of sensation rolling down your arms into your fingertips. You might not, and that's okay. But if you are feeling some energy, that's your chi moving. And we're going to take this gentle energy, this ball of chi, this energy that is ours. We're going to take really good care of it. So in this practice, I request that you focus your attention completely on what you're doing, right? Our energy is important, and we need to take care of it with reverence and respect. So follow your breath, and what I'm doing is I'm rotating my hands around, almost like I'm smoothing over the surface of this ball. And after we've done several rotations, we're going to reverse. We're going to go the other way, balance it out. And just set the intention for care, right? We're just being compassionate towards ourselves. If we want to handle our energy with care and get into practice of doing so, this is a great way to do that. And from here, finding that center again, we're going to take a gentle twist. Now, for those of you who are lying down, we can still twist gently to the side. We can kind of look. We don't have to go far. But we twist, we rotate. We're moving very slowly here, very deliberately. We reverse. See if we can still find some resonance between our fingertips and palms. That heat that we generated before, maybe we can still see if we can find a little sensation. And we push, bring that ball back to center. We're going to do this on the other side next. Deep inhale in. Gentle twist to the other side. Continue that deep, easy breath. Follow your energy. Take care of it with all of your heart. Rotate one way, rotate the other. Put your attention on yourself, your experience, your quality of aliveness that is running through you. And we push back to center. And now this next part is very important. What we're going to do is find that stillness. And what we're doing here is thanking our energy, thanking it for showing up, thanking it for being part of us, thanking it for our trust. And on an inhale and an exhale, we're going to open those fingertips and allow that energy to maybe spill open. Fill the room, fill the space around us. Still finding some sensation in those fingertips. We extend our palms out and up and over, pulling in new energy and bringing it towards us. Again, visualizing that cotton candy air that we're just gently smooshing. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Until we feel satisfied. And that, my friends, is our Qigong practice for today. We did crane stance and ball exercise, both of these for grounding and focus and balance and centering. And I hope that this practice sets you up for a maybe more focused and clear-headed perspective on yourself, on the world, on your pathway in front of you. So thank you so much for spending this time. I wish you well. I love you lots, and I'll see you in our next practice. Oh yeah, and stay tuned for the next practice because we'll be getting into more movement to help support our nervous system, to help us bring in some healing movement into our daily practice. So stay tuned. There's more videos here. All right, bye.